This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Do you have a point of sale system you can trust, or is it a real POS? You need Shopify for retail. From accepting payments to managing inventory, Shopify POS has everything you need to sell in person. Go to shopify.com/system, all lowercase, to take your retail business to the next level today. That's shopify.com/system.
This episode is supported by FX's Clipped, the scandalous story of the 2014 Clippers owner's racist remarks captured on tape and heard around the world. The series charts the tape's impact on a dysfunctional basketball organization striving to win against their reputation as the most cursed team in the league. Starring Lawrence Fishburne, Jackie Weaver, Cleopatra Coleman, and Ed O'Neill. FX's Clipped, streaming June 4th, only on Hulu.
Savage.
This program contains subject matter and language that may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Forever. We go again. More technical problems. We live in the 21st century.
Savage. Unfiltered.
Not only should we not be employees, but we saved $30 billion. Did you know we saved $30 billion this weekend?
Your host, Michael Gardner. Like a Hellcat.
Politicians are not clowns, and I'm offended when I hear them called that. As soon as they start throwing banana cream pies at each other, spraying each other with seltzer bottles, dropping their pants... Oh wait, they already do that, and not in a funny way. Showing up to their rallies and debates all in the same car, which would help the environment, or at the very least spread love, joy, and laughter, like real clowns do, then they are not fit to be called clowns. After all, if I'm upset with my clown buddies, I don't call them politicians. I'm Sparky the Clown, and I approve this message.
Hello, do not adjust your equipment. No, this is not Michael Gardner. I am Joseph M. Leonard, and I am hijacking this broadcast momentarily to issue a heartfelt thank you. Thank you to the Clueless Nation fascocrats that tune into this show. Thank you. And thank you. Please, please keep lying. Because when they see the contrast between the Clueless Nation broadcasts and the facts presented on the Savaged Unfiltered show and actually do some research, they understand. Like Sarah Huckabee Sanders said, it's about the normals, us, our side, versus the Clueless Nation crazies, your side. So let's just clear the air about the broadcast the other day with the sweaty penguin. I gave facts that were easily verifiable if you actually go to real scientific sites and not idiotic ones like the Huffington Post or Mother Jones and other left-wing propaganda sites. And I stated an actual source. I named an actual real scientific source, despite your lie that I didn't the other day, versus Sweaty Penguin and your pseudoscientists, paid scientists, and the Climate Gate emails show that they were manipulating the data to make sure their bribe checks kept coming. So there's reality versus your paid, delusional, warped, twisted, purposely manipulated lies. And last, like they say, and we will, you remember Warner Wolf on the old Imus show? Loved both of them. R.I.P. Imus. Thank God your 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 site for kids with cancer is still being carried on. Thank you for doing that. But as Warner Wolf used to say, let's go to the videotape, which we will after Sweaty Penguin said, explosion, explosion, fracking causes explosions, and they use explosions to create fracking ruptures. False. He later denied saying it, but he said it 5 times. He's so talking point indoctrinated and clueless, young and dumb. He hasn't lived any life. Like I lived through the 70s. We're going back to an ice age paranoia. It's the same lies over and over every decade. But young people, unfortunately, haven't lived any life yet. It's not your fault. You've been indoctrinated and you just re-vomit these talking points because you haven't every decade seen the same lies repeated over and over. And with that, let's get on with the show.
All right, guys, welcome. Yes, Joseph hijacking Savage Unfiltered. Yeah, for those who were listening, no, it wasn't a goof, it wasn't a glitch. No, it was Joseph opening up Savage Unfiltered. It's very rare. It's a very rare commodity that he does that, but I allowed him the floor, and he had to get out what he had to get out because, guys, we had an idiot on the show, literally an idiot, a person that runs a podcast on fracking that literally had no idea where to even start. He had no idea how to counteract the whole argument or the whole discussion with Joseph. I mean, obviously, folks, if you watched the video on Rumble, I noticed sometimes people with this, respected time zones, it uploads a little differently. The encoding sometimes takes slower depending on where you're viewing it from. So bear with it, guys, with Rumble. I think it's like a software thing that Rumble has, but once it gets encoded into the video license, because every video that we upload on Rumble, guys, they give us a license for copywriting. So thank you very much to Rumble for that free copyright license. But guys, I had to bring Joseph on here to express what the hell was going on yesterday. Thank you also to the ones that were viewing us on iHeart and Spotify. I know that episode is doing great. I mean, it's climbing.
Gone viral.
Actually, this episode from yesterday. Yeah, 1 second, Joseph. This video from yesterday and the video with Lavon is probably two of the best videos so far this month of February. So thank you very much. I'm going to bring Joseph on here. Joseph, what's up, buddy? The clown yesterday.
Yeah, the Savage Unfiltered podcast goes viral very often in the internet nomenclature. Meanwhile, the Clueless Nation is on penicillin for all the viruses they've given each other. Ba-dum-bum. Just joking. Just a joke. Just some lighthearted jab. It's all in good fun there. But you notice these shows go viral because we deal in fact, like Sarah Huckabee Sanders said in the rebuttal to
I loved
it. Right? State of the Union. No. Sleepy Joe offering 1,000 untruths. That's what SOTU stands for now. Sleepy Joe offering 1,000 untruths. That's what it was. They offered delusion, and Sarah called them crazies. Indeed, us normals versus the Clueless Nation crazies. I mean, Verify.
Pretty much.
Do
Pretty
some of
much.
your
And
own research.
Joseph, have you? Yeah, 1 second, Joseph. Have you seen? Yeah, we're crossing over each other, Joseph. But did you see the comments coming in from Clueless Nation? Obviously, he's seen the show with Levon. Joseph, I need your insights on this and your comments. He's now saying that Joseph and I paid Levon to come on the show because she's a trans woman.
What?
He thinks we paid her to come on the show because on paper she's supposed to be a Democrat.
Yeah,
I don't know, Joseph. Could you?
And again, thank you, Clueless Nation, because in part, really,
You afford thousands of dollars to bring a woman on the show? I can't.
We don't have to pay guests. We don't. We never have. We never will. And Clueless Nation, thank you. You partly inspired it with all your groomer nonsense to bring on a sensible person. And I got a lot of flack promoting that show on social media because I said we had a trans woman on to discuss the other loony, characterless, non-women trannies, making a distinction between a class, right? Unlike the left, who demand the fascocrats, as I call them, just like with blacks and their racism cries. They feel every black person must think and act a certain way. And it's the same with the LGBTQ community, which is why Levon was such a great guest, proving they're not all, like you did the clown intro. Perfect. These drag queen story hour clowns, the makeup is clownish. It isn't womanesque. They aren't dressing like women. They dress like clowns with that makeup. And same with the black community. They are individuals. Like Martin Luther King said, the content of one's character. And we conservatives believe in individualism, while the Clueless Nation collectivists believe in identity politics. You must all think a certain way if you belong to a certain group. And I lost my earbud.
Yeah, absolutely. And folks, for some of the, no, you're good, Joseph. For some of the viewers that may have missed the episode yesterday with Joseph, literally schooling the hell out of this idiot, an uneducated guy that runs a podcast on fracking and didn't even know how to literally answer a question. He was like a pickle. Check this out, guys.
Like you said, we know that from ice core samples, and it is scientists collecting those ice core samples. I have friends who do that. So, yes, of course, climate has changed a lot. What hasn't happened is for climate to change as rapidly as it has over the last 100 years. And
Joseph, I think he agrees with you. He just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to admit it.
I can send you the chart.
I would like to see what you're referring to, because I've never seen a data point that says that the climate was as warm in the 1930s as it is.
Ethan, are you a scientist at all, if you don't mind me asking?
I have a degree in environmental analysis and policy. I would consider myself more of a communicator than an actual scientist.
Temperatures haven't been rising anywhere close to like they said they would be. And here's the reality. If you put a climate station outside a city in a somewhat rural area, it acts different. It's getting true readings. But then guess what? People encroach the city upon that station. And there is then cement and asphalt, which retains the heat. So it is getting a false reading based on the surrounding. So in that case, it is man-made.
I wish I could give more. I thought I had the fracking. I do apologize, Joseph.
Oh, okay.
This guy fucking said we're gonna explode the Earth. The Earth is gonna explode. We're setting up dangerous explosions.
Yeah, please. That's why I said the Warner Wolf line. Let's go to the videotape. Had I known I would be on today, and thank you for bringing me back. I'm normally on with you Mondays and Wednesdays. Thank you for that. And thank you again for another oddball off day. I am on with you again.
But into the shale rock, and then you create these explosions underground, which can into the shale rock, and then you create these explosions underground, which can into the shale rock, and then you create these explosions underground, which can.
It's an explosion, and they use something to make an explosion.
Well, Joseph, we're gonna take the explosions. Yeah, we're gonna take. Yeah.
He denied he said it, but he said it.
Yeah, we're
going to
take the explosions,
times.
man, and we're going to put the explosions, guys. Yeah, 1 second, Joseph. We're going to take the explosions, and we're gonna make a snippet, and we're going to put them onto Twitter. We're going to put them on social media, Facebook and Instagram, and we're going to show.
He said explosion and explosion and explosion, and then in the next paragraph, when I said fracking does not cause an explosion, he literally said, I never said that, after saying it like 5 times. We need that farcical bit of snippets put together. Clueless Nation.
Yeah, we'll create the snippets.
Refute that, Clueless Nation. He lied. I called him out. He lied. And we will now put together showing him in his own words saying explosion over and over and over. And that's not what fracking fluid does.
Yeah, unfortunately, and guys.
Again,
more here on the. Yeah, go ahead, Joseph.
Yeah, and again, for those of you who've not seen the show yesterday, you really need to go see the show. You can't miss any episode of Savage and Unfiltered. Really, you need to see them.
Yeah.
Even the ones we did on movies and music, they're a bit lighthearted, but you need to see every episode.
Joseph, we bring the idiots to podcasting that the media is afraid to bring on the show. Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're afraid that they're going to embarrass their own platform, their base. Yeah.
Well, like I said yesterday, guys, fracking could be dangerous. You don't frack next to the San Andreas Fault. That would be stupid, right? That's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're doing. That's not what is happening. The left must always engage in fear porn and lies. And somebody tried to accuse me, terror strikes coming soon to a city near you as a
he tried to accuse you all. He tried to come back at you, Joseph, but he couldn't. He couldn't come back at you, Joseph. And Joseph, before we take a break, you might like this. StreamYard Broadcasting actually now has a feature now where we can actually record separate recordings. So every time Joseph talks, I actually have a separate recording just for him talking. So I'm going to send that to you, Joseph, because I know you'll love it. You can put it on your YouTube. You can do it all over the place. You can create your own little show if you want to. But guys, we got a lot more to talk about on the show. Frankie Marino Jr. stopping by. Got a lot more, guys. Don't go anywhere.
How's it going, guys? Welcome to the stream. So, what are we playing today? Flank left. Flank left. Too easy. What the heck just happened, chat? All right, what's the play here? Jeez, these guys aren't messing around. Dude, that shot was crazy. All right, people, I am calling it. It has been one hell of a stream. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.
The idiots, guys. Got more here on.
Flu is rising in many parts of the country. We're probably the worst flu outbreak we've seen in a decade. There are some places where flu may be peaking, but it's very early data. But a lot of flu out there. Again, the worst in a decade. And then we talk.
Get your popcorn, kiddies. Look at that clown show, huh? You gotta love the clown show. I'm telling you. Telling you.
I want to chime in about the
Joseph.
ads again.
I see you talking in the green room, but yeah, we forgot to add John. Go ahead, buddy.
Sorry, yeah, the ads.
Dr.
Again,
Evil.
first, thank you, Dove, for a socially responsible ad. Thank you. Not some woke tardism garbage. A very socially responsible ad about sexualization of our children and ridiculousness that goes back to drag queen story hour garbage. And also, I got to know who was the woman in the microphone ad. She's cute. I want to know what show she does. I want to be on her show.
Oh, you like her, Joseph? I don't know. That the woman you're talking about in the Dove ad, right?
No, the microphone ad you ran. No, the one you did in the microphone ad first.
Microphone. Oh, the one that we opened up the show after you were talking?
No. You did right before the Dove ad. Do you not realize you did that ad for the microphone? Play the microphone ad again.
What, Mike? What the hell are you talking about, Joseph?
You have
microphone. Oh, the razor, the razor ad, right? The razor,
razor microphone. Yeah, it's the microphone.
I don't know who the hell she is. They just sent us this. They sponsor the show. I don't know who they are, Joseph.
I know the ad better than the guy who just
sponsors that come in. I don't know. Well, Joseph, they send us the ads. Okay, I know the company's Razor. I'm affiliated with a Razor mic, but I used to have a Razor mic. I'm actually going to purchase another one, but I don't know who she is. She's just a spokesperson for Razor.
Yeah. Well, it just goes to show.
Joseph, you're asking me like if I know her personally. I don't know her personally, buddy.
I paid more attention to the ad than you did, apparently, huh?
That's Shaky communicates with the advertisement. I don't communicate. He just hey, by the way, we're sponsored by Razor, or by the way, we're sponsored by Dove. So
in all seriousness.
Yeah, go ahead, Joseph.
Mike concerns himself about the show content, and his producer Shaky, obviously, we all have roles, and Savage Unfiltered is a major show. It's not like one of those shows done from somebody's closet where the on-air talent is also the producer, does everything. This show is too big. Mike can't wear all the hats. Shaky does the production normally, unlike today, because Shaky's got something going on. But yeah, Shaky wears a hat. Mike tries to maintain.
He's busy. He's in Sarasota.
Yeah, Mike tries to stay focused on bringing the facts of the political discussion, and Shaky. So Mike doesn't have to worry about that stuff and be distracted. Little inside baseball.
Yeah, pretty much. I try. What's that?
Yeah,
you said something. I said something, and you said something. What was that, Joseph?
Yeah, these little inside baseball snippets are actually good. Part of educating the public of behind the scenes what goes on. Like my new book, How to Write a Book and Get It Published, Hints, Tips, and Techniques. Behind the scenes of what goes on with an author and the publishing industry and marketing like we're doing now. So, these things are important to educate the public on. It's not something you get every day. You're not going to get it on the...
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Do you have a point of sale system you can trust, or is it a real POS? You need Shopify for retail. From accepting payments to managing inventory, Shopify POS has everything you need to sell in person. Go to shopify.com/system, all lowercase, to take your retail business to the next level today. That's shopify.com/system.
Clueless Nation show.
No, unfortunately. Where to start, guys? You know me with the announcements, guys. I want to thank Miss Joy last night for having me on. I had her on the show once, maybe twice before. I know she's been in a couple spaces, guys, but she reached out to myself and Shaky last week with possibly having me on the show. And I was on her YouTube channel last night, and it was pretty good. She had a pretty big response to her YouTube. Got the first hour reached like 90 views, so that was a really good show. I know the show is probably up to about 200 or 300 views. It's climbing, you know, and she's no stranger to podcasting, guys. She's been around for oh God, 5 maybe 6 years. I know she just finished up 1,050 the episode. Got a lot more episodes than I do, but. But she it was a pleasure, Joseph, having her on the show, or me being on the show last night. You know, she's like one of those podcasters where she does like the Q&As, like she was, you know, like what made you go into podcasting, and you know, like what's your favorite person that you had on your show. I'm like, that's a hard. We bring everybody on, from, you know, comedians to authors to, you know, politicians. I've had. I told her I had one story with a gentleman that got hit by a rake from a mayor here in Florida. So I mean that was a pretty good episode. You know, I mean,
yeah,
it sucked that the guy got hit by a rake by a mayor. You know, Joseph remembers that. He was talking to the guy. You know, Chang, right? Remember him, Mel Chang?
Yeah.
So. We tried to even bring the mayor on. Remember that, Joseph? We tried to bring the mayor on, and the mayor didn't want to come on for some strange, odd reason. Yeah.
One of my favorite, well, you know, asking what is your favorite show is like asking someone who has a dozen kids, which is your favorite child. You know, you love them all, right? But one of my favorite shows was the one where we had the grandfather who wrote the book about the letters he tried to send to his kid and his daughter blocked, trying to keep him out of his grandchild's life. That was a very important show. But you also said, I had her on my show once. That took my warped brain, of course, in a bad direction. Remember the music in the movie show? We talked about Who's That Girl, and in that Who's That Girl movie, there's the ongoing joke. I had Wendy in me cab once. Oh, you gave her a ride? No, I had Wendy in me cab once. But Who's That Girl?
I remember that.
I can't stand Madonna, but that's a great movie. It's a lot of fun and it's a good song. But anyway, you sent my warped brain
Madonna.
in a
Speaking of Madonna, Joseph. Yeah. Speaking of Madonna, did you see what Madonna looks like? Oh, she like shit.
Oh my God. Oh,
she looks like she's dying.
She doesn't resemble her. She used to be a cute young woman, and now, oh my God, she looks like there's a balloon with a face drawn on it, on her head, on her shoulders. God almighty. We're glad she doesn't live anywhere near Detroit anymore. Yes, thank you. Please leave.
Savaged, unfiltered.
Oh, she's from Detroit, right? I thought she was from Chicago.
No, she's from the Detroit area, as is Eminem and Robert Ritchie, who we know as Kid Rock. Ted Nugent originated in the Michigan area, as did Alice Cooper. So, and Bob Seger, of course. People think Bob Seger. Yeah. I'm not a big Bob Seger fan when they think Detroit, but he's got some good stuff. So we can, it's not just Motown that came out of Detroit, people.
Just not Motown, guys. For those of video video fanatics, video nuts. I like to put these out here when I can, give a little break here and there from me talking or Joseph talking sometimes. Sometimes he does too much talking, but we love him. If you go to Amazon and then Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, his book is available on more avenues than my book. Terror Strikes Coming to a City Near You by Joseph M. Leonard. Guys, get the book. It's a phenomenal book. Really, really awesome book. Joseph's first, actually. I mean, he's written other books, but other articles and stuff like that, copyright licenses and stuff like that. But this book right here, literally, if you want to know who wrote the book on terrorism, you're literally listening to him on the show. So check it out, guys. Terror Strikes Coming to a City Near You by Joseph M. Leonard. Joseph, by the way, the second book that you wrote, man, how's it doing? I always want to ask, how's it doing?
It's doing good. It's doing good. Yeah, thank you. You're right. I have written many stories, books, short stories, novels, poetry, whatever, music, but it was only published locally. So Terror Strikes Coming Soon to a City Near You was my first international book. And, somebody tried to accuse me of dealing in fear porn the other day. That's not what the book is about. It's about life, not death, hope, not fear, love, not hate. And
Joseph, they're coming after you like left and right, buddy.
Well, yeah, the left-wing cancel culture, like the book calls out, left-wing fascocrats are every bit as dangerous, if not more, than foreign terrorists trying to destroy America.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard a story yesterday with Joseph, with this guy. I guess he was on Broggen. If is that his name? You said something yesterday on the show relating the whole Levant thing. They were calling Joseph. They were almost calling you like a hypocrite in a way. If I was getting that, Joseph,
oh,
exactly. Well, you speak out against LGBT, but you were actually caving into the LGBT. I don't think, Joseph, you were caving in, man. I think you were listening to what Levant had said, and I think as a conservative as yourself, you were kind of puzzled. I was puzzled that she's a trans woman, but she also supports the conservative value.
No,
know what I mean?
That's exactly right. It's also like Brandon Strzok, who created the Walk Away movement, a gay man. It's the same with Levant. I do not condone your lifestyle, but I am a Christian. I also believe in hate the sin, love thy neighbor. I don't condemn you for your lifestyle. And I appreciate the differentiations. And that's what we did on the show the other day. We weren't praising the lifestyle. We were making a distinction between someone who is a trans woman, dresses like an actual woman, versus the drag queen story hour freaks with makeup like clowns. They don't dress in makeup like a woman. They dress in makeup like clowns. We are conservatives and we're Christians. So we believe in individualism, not collectivism. The Clueless Nation, again, like I said earlier, want everybody in LGBTQ to be in one bucket. You must act and think this way. That's not reality. We are individual.
Well, that's the show I'm going to be calling it, Joseph. I'm going to be calling this show, the Karens and Carls of the political circus, because that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a bunch of Karens and a bunch of Carls, like we seen the other a couple nights ago at the State of the Union address. Joe Biden being the Carl, right? Kamala Harris, being the Karen, applauding. I mean, sometimes she doesn't even know what she's probably applauding to, but she's like. And then you had Kevin McCarthy just doing the stint, the stare there. He was like, like he knew it was a circus. He was like, oh God, we only got another year and a half of this jackass. But
And the people attacking me over the Levon thing, and you by extension, are people who clearly, and this happens a lot on Twitter, right? They react to the headline. They clearly didn't listen to the show. They clearly have never read the article I wrote years ago during Gay Pride about where is the real hate. Many in the LGBTQ community, like Levon, recognizing where the hate is. I don't see Christians stoning gays to death, but yet in certain other countries, under a certain other religion, they literally are stoning gays to death, but you don't hear the left talk about that.
Yeah.
We don't dare speak reality.
Yeah, that's the way it is. You know what I mean? That is the way it is.
I will describe it.
No, you moron.
My book is about
All right, guys, we got some breaking news. Sorry I had to interrupt you, Joseph. I have to get this out. Coming out of Breitbart, I'm always following Breitbart. Guys, this is exclusive, guys. You're probably, if you're not hearing it or if you are hearing it for the second time, I apologize, but I got to get out to people that don't hear this, and it's right on top of what Joseph and I were talking about, with climate and energy and all that other stuff yesterday. Trump now, guys, Donald Trump has now released a new campaign push with his 2024 presidency ticket of what he's campaigning on now. He's going to be pushing this to an extent, guys. Donald Trump now releasing a new campaign ad outlining his new energy policy. Now, what does that mean? He's going to be focused on power plants, pipelines, ports, and shipping terminals of tomorrow. And what does that mean? He wants to basically make everything that you see now that's decrepit, that's going down the shitter, something better. We've seen this in his campaign, Joseph. We've seen this in his campaign, and what the hell? Oh, there we go. Guys, I apologize. I'm playing producer and host. Shaky usually handles this for me, but sorry, I had to get the correct window. But yeah, he's gonna he's gonna promise, and he's gonna focus on the energy. It's so much stuff coming out, Joseph. I wanted to make sure I get that in there. Yeah.
This is an important point, and it brings the Sleepy Joe offering 1,000 untruths, the SOTU of last night. Or was that the day? I've lost track of time. That was the day before, whatever. Sleepy Joe talked about his infrastructure bill, which was nothing more than the new Green Deal money laundering scam, federal money to his donors, his friends, his family, his supporters. After years under Trump of us trying to put forth a real infrastructure bill that would take care of these things you just outlined that he guarantees we will deal with, including the electrical grid. You're not seeing it in the news. Take my word for it. The guy who wrote the definitive book about terrorism of our time, not me saying it.
Yeah, you wrote it, Joseph.
An intelligence agent who I can't name said that about my book. Power grid attacks are happening. You're not seeing it on the news. You saw.
Joseph, remember the intrusion attacks we did? Remember that episode we did on intrusion attacks?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You saw
this
one
exactly is what Joseph's referring to, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Power grid attacks are happening because we wanted to shore up and harden our power grid as part of a real infrastructure bill that the Democrats blocked. Now those attacks are happening that we warned you were coming, but you're not seeing it on the news, except for one. The FBI arrested someone who was racially motivated. That's why you're hearing it, because it fits their narrative about right-wing terrorism nonsense. Wanted to destroy the Baltimore power grid and put black people in the dark. Power grids have been dozens the last year and a half that you've heard nothing about.
Yeah.
I know about them. They're happening. And it's because the Democrats blocked the real infrastructure grid, and those attacks do not fit their left-wing agenda, so you're not seeing them on the news.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Not seeing them on the news, guys. You're not going to see them on the news. But I wanted to get that out there. A brand new campaign ad that Trump is literally. I mean, he's pushing, and I hope he delivers the envelope because our energy sector sucks in this country. It really does.
Yeah.
Fucking sucks. But we got some troubling news here, Joseph. 1 second. One second, buddy. I got to get this out. Frankie Marino just had some power outages. He's up in what the hell is it? Seattle, Washington. They're having some storms up there. I try to get at least 10 minutes from him, but he says it's not going to happen. I do apologize, guys. We're going to try to get him back on next Monday. He's a really, really great individual, guys. I've had the opportunity to talk to him on Twitter. I know he does his Twitter Spaces, and he has his own podcast, which I was a part of about a year ago. And he's wanting to come on the show doing the talk, but we're going to try to get him on here soon. It sucks that he can't come on, even give a couple minutes, but if he's having really bad power outages, hey, that's a different story.
Oh,
we're going to try to get him back on, Joseph, because
yeah.
Go ahead, buddy.
That ties into what we were just saying. Thankfully, you mentioned it's storms, and you've had power outages due to the issues with storms in Florida too.
Oh God!
Well, thank God
it's not so many. Yeah.
Thank God it's not a power grid attack. How many of you momentarily on the news saw the story about LAX being shut down for a day and a half? What you didn't hear is they shut down. They shut down because of a power grid attack that took out the power at LAX. That was a power grid attack. Did you hear that part of the story? Like Paul Harvey says, now you know the rest of the story.
Yeah, speaking of power attacks, I want to kind of chime into some of what we were discussing on an earlier episode of intrusion attacks. Joseph, they're these like power grid of special lines that go from like a box to people that live on the barrier islands, whether it's the East Coast or West Coast of Florida. They have usually right before a intercoastal bridge. We call them intercoastal bridges because the reason for that is because between the main ocean, whether it's the Gulf or whether it's the Atlantic Ocean, there are usually strips of rivers or streams between that. It's called the intercoastal. Well, right before those bridges, we have like a little fenced in area where they have this massive amounts of power grids. Okay. And then the lines feed off of that and they go out towards the barrier islands. Well, I noticed in some of those areas, okay, there are sparks, literally sparks, constantly. And I questioned it, okay, well, are they being rigged up correctly? Or, are the people, installing these correctly and this and that? Well, obviously they are because, that's not the issue. But what the issue is part of that intrusion. The intrusion is real, Joseph. It really is. It's real.
Oh, absolutely.
And people, they seem to they not understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Joseph, you mentioned the Florida Keys. You want to get into that?
Yeah, exactly. Imagine how vulnerable the Florida Keys are, but generally that's a pretty ritzy area. That's not an area that they'll probably key, pun intended, to try to attack and take out.
Yeah.
Neither like Martha's Vineyard. You know, they don't want to upset the Democrat elites.
Yeah.
They want to attack us. And you in the rural areas, you need to read my Tulsa chapter. Did you see about the toxic chemical spew from the derailed train on the Ohio-Pennsylvania border? If you've read my book, The Tulsa Chapter, you knew something like that was coming.
I read
People, wake up. Wake up.
Yeah. Yeah, I read the book. You know, to be honest with you, Joseph, I read the book like probably 3 times already, and the reason why I read it 3 times is because sometimes you have to read a chapter to fully understand it. And Joseph gets into in depth on his book. I mean, it's not just about terrorism. There's so many different chapters of so many different types of personal experiences. Some of us are experiencing just in this homeland of the United States. So yeah. It's, oh boy, it's terrible what's going on.
They
it
are
really
going
is.
to move on.
Joseph, we're going to finish up here soon. Yeah, I'm just letting you know we're going to finish up soon, but go ahead, buddy. I'll let you get what you need to get out.
Yeah, people keep thinking terrorism always means some other 9/11, and that's not true. Al-Qaeda has threatened to use planes again. Well, they can hijack, they can go steal a Cessna and fill it with explosives and poisons and flammables and crash it into smaller rural areas. They can hijack a crop duster and spew poisons over rural areas because that's are less hardened targets. The likelihood of another 9/11 is slim. They are moving on to softer targets. People, you're not immune no matter where you live.
Oh, without a doubt.
And I'm
guys,
sorry,
I'm going to close it up here.
Yeah. Well, Michael, let me say
you're fine,
one
Joseph,
more
but I got to
thing.
close it up here soon.
Yeah, Michael,
ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean. I did mean to hijack the show at the beginning. That was in fun, of course, but I didn't mean to hijack the rest of the show. But the subject matter kept leaning back to terror strikes coming soon to a city near you. I didn't mean to turn the show and hijack it and turn it into all about me and my book.
Oh no,
but
I didn't.
It all relates.
I didn't. No, of course not, Joseph. No, you're not going to hijack the show. No, God, no. The liberal idiots might think that, but you're not going to. No. I don't think of that, Joseph. I understand what you're saying. It's okay, Joseph. Calm down. I'm not mad.
Well, my
Joseph's now quiet, but guys, no, we do have to wrap it up. Yeah.
Yeah, again, because
no, you're fine. You're fine. I wanted you to hijack the show in the beginning so you can understand. Yeah, I wanted you to open up to get the in-depth response from Joseph. You know, just from yesterday's show, and then a little bit of the comments that are coming into the show from Clueless Nation. But guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. I wanted to bring Joseph on here. I wanted to apologize to Joseph from Frankie Marino Jr. I really wanted him to talk to Joseph because he's a diehard conservative, and I think Joseph and him would have a tremendous conversation. I'm gonna reach out to Frankie Marino over the weekend. We're gonna try to get him on Mondays or Wednesdays show. So check that out, guys. Hope he can come back on. But guys, like always, thank you very much for stopping by on this Thursday show. And like I always say, keep it savage, guys, and we'll see you next time.